Welcome to the Smite Night podcast. In this episode, we'll talk about Season 1 of how Smite Night has gone and how each of the teams have found it, and what we're looking forward to in Season 2.
Yeah, exactly. I think it all just kind of leads back to how well they've done with this mid-season patch. Like, no one knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so interesting.
Yeah.
I think what works in our favour is we have a couple of weeks between the end of our season and the start of Season 2. It's almost like school planned it this way back in January. But with that, we will move on to the final section of the podcast, which is we've done the patch notes. Now let's talk about the league we are all actually a part of and what brings us all here today. We'll just briefly go around the room and talk about how you found Season 1, how you found us, what you've done in Season 1, what are you doing for Season 2, and sort of your own experiences of the league. And anyone who might be watching, whether this is right now or when this gets uploaded to YouTube later on today, just why you should be here. So I'll start off. I was, of course, one of the founders of the league. Myself and Schooled one day decided we wanted to play Smite competitively. We tried to join a couple of leagues, but there wasn't any European scene really. There was a couple of leagues that we applied to, but at the time I think they didn't have enough space to fill out a European only roster. So we both looked at each other and said, let's do it. Let's set up our own league. And here we sit 6 months later on. We've got, I think, a good community. We've got a good production value. We've got a good core of teams. We've got some great players. We've got some great casters. We've got promo videos. We've got everything. I personally am delighted how things have gone. I think we've got something that could be, even bigger in a couple of months' time. And going into Season 2, I'm excited to see that we've got 30 teams signed up, which is just insane. We've got 5 divisions. We've got a lot of things lined up for Season 2, which some guys don't know about yet, which I'll touch upon as we approach the end of it. So from my point of view, I think Season 1 has been amazing. I've been so impressed with the quality of the players and everyone's attitude in the community as well to being part of the Smite community. And I'm going to hand it over to Judas next because, of course, Judas, one of the league admins now. What has been your experience of Smite Night Season 1?
So I'm in the interesting position of I didn't find the league until at least halfway through the fixtures. Funny story with that. I was sat in a hospital waiting for 6 hours for absolutely nothing, and just browsing through Reddit, going quite far down the rabbit hole. Eventually, bumped into a post from Kara asking for casters, and I thought, you know what, I'll give that a go. And one thing I've noticed, I'll throw this out there because this is a good time to mention it. The first game I watched was a game between Cobalt Esports and Relentless Zellers. So we actually have the perfect set. Yeah. Because everyone knows how this happens, where we had Nathan T in the mid lane on Scylla. Went something like 0-8. And I do feel bad for him because I remember there was someone in chat, I think it's actually James who's in chat right now, says as the game's starting, oh wow, Nathan T, best mid laner, my favorite player, awesome. I was looking at that going, oh man, Nathan T, I'll keep an eye on this guy. Apparently he's really good.
He's digging you out here, isn't he? He's really digging you out.
We have Draconic Ace, though, maybe read the same messages and absolutely shut you down that game. I do remember that very, very well. But that was a hell of an introduction to a league. When I hear people talking about how there are some of the best players on one team, and another team comes in and has a really strong performance, you start saying, wow, quality in this league is so high. And ever since then, with some teams have dropped out, more teams have joined in, quality has just shot up. We just yesterday casted a game between Jolly Japers and Hanford Hairnets, 2 teams who came up through the development league, and it was such a good match. It was a really good, fun game to watch, and the team that won 2-0 in the development league is the team that lost 2-0 in the actual league fixture. So it's not only high quality, but also a balanced quality throughout. And I think while there will be split divisions, I think within those divisions, there is so much potential for really, really good matches.
Yeah, and that's something we wanted for Season 2. Obviously, we started Season 1. We had no seeding because we had no idea how this was going to go. This could have been done after 2 weeks if me and School didn't get anyone to join the league. And we almost did, I'll be honest. We had 5 teams join at the start. There was the Trout Thieves, there was a team called Cabrat Clan, there was a team called Watch the Stairs, and then there was us. We played Trout Thieves, got rolled. Then we played the other 2, and they both left after 1 fixture because they lost. And we were thinking, is this what it's going to be? Are we going to be chasing up teams? And then a couple more teams joined. The Zellas joined, and then Arena Merchants, then Swagney, and then we started to get a fixed teams, and these guys seem to be in it for the whole season. And I think the big turning point for me, and this was the moment when I was yes, this is it now, that we're going to stick with this. This is not going to be a couple of month things. Was when we got the tie-in with Hi-Rez to give us the gem pool to give away as a reward, the 30,000 gems, which obviously we're looking to increase for season 2. I think if we can say, look, we got 30 teams, give us a little bit more. So yeah, I'll pass on to you, Apo. What was your experience? How did you find us? How have you enjoyed season 1? Is there anything about the community that anyone who watching this may not know that you think, do you know what, this is why you need to be here?
So initially, I joined the league through Arena Merchants actually. I know one of their players is one of my good friends. Nath Swerve he is in Discord, but he's Lord Heatman in game. He was their support, and I play a lot of ranked with him. And he was like, "Yo, we're playing in this league. Try and get a team together." So I was just hitting up everyone because I come from a COD background, and I ranks competitive, but it's not it's competitive where you're playing in a team environment and things like that. So I like that. That's what I like about games. I can't play games casually anymore. I have to be competitive.
Yep.
So, and then I was texting everyone Poseidon Bra, I got him. Poseidon text Nathan, and then I had Exidiamant and Clayton. We all joined the league and started off on fire, and then everything went to shit. But yeah, we'll not get into that. But no, I know I love the league. It's absolutely amazing, and I say this to all the guys as well, and anyone that wants to join the league or anyone that is joining the league, that actually one of the most professionally run leagues that I've ever been a part of, whether that be Call of Duty or Halo or any of the games that I've played. It not only is it really professionally run, but it's a community as well. Everyone knows each other. Everyone's playing in houses. There's always an in-house. There's always something to play. It's just always so active. I'm sitting in work some days, bored out of my head, and I'm the Discord because there's beef going on. Although we don't condone beef, but it's just a wee community. It is just amazing, and I would encourage anyone to be a part of it. If you like Smite, have 5 friends, just come and play. At the end of the day, just have some fun. That's the best way. Everyone's just having fun. The win, but everyone's just having fun, and I think that's the best way to do it.
Yep, completely agree. Nathan, how's your season 1 story?
My season 1 story. You know what? I am ever so glad that I had a Twitter DM one day asking if I wanted to play. I think it was originally some scrims. I wasn't, in the team straight away. Played a couple games and then got put into this league that I had no idea anything about. I had previous experience sort of in a Smite community Discord with Vulpes, so I played a bit there. And obviously, I've actually never met a community as friendly as this, and it's as much as you want to you can get out of it as much as you put in, essentially. Whether you want to become a caster here or get a team together or just want to play in houses or just even want to chat, because honestly, the amount that I've seen it grown, because having been from Cobalt maybe a month in, 2 months in to the season, and probably 4 months in the league as a whole, the amount that I've seen it grown player wise and player base, and especially recently in the last few weeks, and the steps to improve the league in terms of podcasting and casting in general, the quality of everything, the media that I'm seeing, wow. It's honestly really, really impressive, and the guys here on the administration side of things, Schold, I don't know whether he's listening, and obviously yourselves, Judas, etc., deserve so much credit, because going into season 2, I don't know how, I don't know if you predicted how much it was gonna spiral really, but it's really become a big thing. I'm really impressed.
The question for you is, Nathan, are you going to give us some team leaks tonight, or are we going to have to wait?
He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it.
Look, Blink and the Winkers, we're called. That's the team name.
Need more I want more
If you
information
want
on
a
that.
leak, if you want a leak, a single leak, I will leak out just here live on the podcast. Mr. Ptolemy will be joining me
Nice,
for
nice.
season 2. So
Wow.
have that.
Big roster change.
Ptolemy confirmed the only player in the league to be solo killed by me in an in-house. Yes, so good pick up there. Nathan T was actually my support that game as well and witnessed it firsthand. So I made my case.
Big accolade there, Judas. So finally, Don Doug, the relentless zealous ADC, the man who could be getting his hands on the season 1 title on Sunday. What is your season 1 story? What do you make of the community so far? This is one thing I should mention actually for everyone watching the community. I don't think you guys are quite aware of how much Don has actually done for us back of house. He doesn't stream, he doesn't cast with us, he doesn't mention anything in general chat, but a lot of the stuff that you see visually is courtesy of Don. So the picks and bans screen that was provided by Don, the overlays. He's actually done a great deal behind the scenes. So I want to say first of all, thank you, Don, from myself and School, because you've been almost like the fourth. Like there was a fifth Beatle. People used to say there was a fifth Beatle. You're like the fourth admin. You're like the one who's done a lot of stuff back of the house, but never front of house to take credit for it. So, what's your season 1 story, Don, and what brings you here and what's keeping you here for season 2?
Well, I actually were a big part of Smite. It's like I used to do some Challenger Cup and SPL things back in the day, and I had a big setback, like some personal issues that I went through, and then I moved overseas, and I got some work in Luxembourg and stuff, and whatever. I came back to Norway, like early beginning season 7 was Smite, I think. And then I just started playing casually again, and I figured at some point when I kind of I was always good at Smite, and I kind of got the groove back. I figured, why not just try and get back into a league? And it kind of happened randomly because I went to Reddit, like Judas, kind of like just chilling at work someday. I didn't have a lot of work to do, and then I kind of just scrolled down, and I actually found one of the original like the owner of the roster that I have now was in Smite Noob League back then. And I told him like, yeah, if you needed a carry, pick me up, and we kind of played together. And as time went on, I kind of got more and more into the scene again, and I found you on Reddit actually, I believe. And I messaged you, and you told me that you had like 3 teams or something like that. And I said, hell, let's get something going from the beginning. Like we can be a part of something from the start. Let's see how they're doing and who the guys are and how the admins are working, like how they. And the first thing that really caught my eye though was that you're really active on the casting part, which I think is really important. Like I've been a part of so many leagues in Smite. Like I've been a part of since the early season 1 Challenger Cup beginnings, like the founding days of the Challenger Cup. And I know for a fact that what's giving the league's attention is when you have an active administration that are willing to cast games, because Smite is a spectator sport.
Yep.
So it's almost more fun to watch it as a spectator than to actually be a part of the game itself, you know, to play it. And especially when you can see yourself play, that's even more fun, you know. That's like what you want to do. That's like to show your friends and stuff like that. So when I saw Kara being this active, I instantly knew that this was going to be a good investment. And I've been so eager to actually promote the EU scene for ages, because the NA scene has a huge community. Like it has so many different leagues like going on in EU. You don't really have that, to be honest with you. I mean, you have a few, but I don't feel like they're as committed as you guys have been. Like you've gone in there talking to each player personally, on like really getting in there doing work, you know. So it's the experience that I've had so far is tremendous, which also is why I've been so invested in actually helping you guys doing stuff. And I think that if you're doing something, you should never do it for free. Obviously, it's not like you can demand pay from somebody when it's like a thing that you want to do for a community, but also think that you deserve a lot more than you actually take credit for as well, because you're doing a lot of work. I know how hard it is to run leagues, and you're doing a lot of work. So that's
Yeah, I think
it's good stuff.
me and Skull are quite similar, and we don't really do things by half. I think it was Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec who said, "Don't half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing."
Oh, that's
So
one thing, yeah.
I think we both sort of went all in on this. And I remember the day that we originally decided to do this was Skull just texted me, said, "Should we just do our own league?" And I was like, "Ugh, a lot of work." And then I was like, "Do you
It
know
is a
what?
lot of
Actually,
work,
do you know what? Actually, yeah, let's do it." Lockdown had just happened in the UK, so I was given 3 months off work and I had nothing else to do. But yeah, the effort and stuff we put in, even because we both have full-time jobs now, we're both back in full-time work, so finding the time to do these things can be a bit tricky. And even today, yesterday, I spent 5 hours making team banners yesterday, and I think that's the kind of effort that we want to put in. But the biggest thing that we wanted to attract is we want people to come and play here, and we want to treat people like they're more than just a name on a roster sheet. That's why we do the team interviews. That's why we cast and we learn players' names. That's why we originally made highlight videos at the start of the season, but it became a lot of work, and I'll admit I did tail off with that a little bit. And we give people their own custom logos, their banners. We want people to be treated like a professional. They come here, and to your average gold schmo who plays in gold 5 in his ranked games, to come somewhere where someone is going, yeah, we actually want to hear what you've got to say about your game. We actually hear what you want to, how your team thinks they're going to do in the next game. We actually want you to come and talk about Smite because your opinion here matters. And I think that was what we've sort of gone for throughout the season, is we want people to feel valued and part of a community. And the underlying thing for all of it, for the whole league, this goes from the reason we set it up to the reason we're still doing it now, is we don't want people to have to be forced to play with toxic players, or where they can come and join and go, yeah, I can get 5 people at the click of a finger and we can go do some casuals together. Because toxic players are the barrier for a game growing, because this is a difficult game to pick up. If you pick up this game as a new player and you don't know what you do and you jump into Conquest and you're just getting spammed and flamed and you think, I don't want to be part of this. And then a game dies and years down the line, Smite might drop off the scene altogether. So we wanted to create a place where people can come and enjoy themselves, and when they get to a level where they're comfortable, play some competitive Smite. And I think that was our objective throughout the whole season. But enough of me waffling about what we've done. Let's talk about what we're going to do as we head into season 2. So there is a couple of things that you guys probably may not know, because there's a lot of back of house stuff that we've done over the last couple of days that is going to be announced going into season 2. So the first one is the big one, and a shout out here to Vileblood Mitch, who has put a lot of effort into making us a website. Judas has seen it and will be able to comment on it in a second, but we do have a website launching very soon, and I must say it looks sick, Judas.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, it was.
Hell yeah.
Like I've seen websites in the past, considered making my own websites in the past. What Vileblood Mitch showed me blew absolutely everything I've ever considered out of the water. It was.
Hey, Vileblood,
sick.
send that donation thing in the fucking chat, man. Right now. Give me the link. Give me the PayPal right now.
It's like,
Genuinely, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's got a divisions page. Every single division has its own page that is color coded to the color of the division, and each team will have a logo that you hover the mouse over and it brings up the entire roster underneath and the roles that they play. And it sounds like I'm underplaying it, but visually it's so clean. It looks amazing. So that is something that unfortunately we can't launch it until we've got finalized rosters for season 2 and logos and banners. So that will probably be something that comes out towards the start of season 2, but it's in the works. The next thing, obviously, is we've got the podcast, which we're all part of now. I want this to be a running thing, maybe not always 2 hours long, but definitely something that we can do each week. And even if we just get a couple of players in to do a little chat, we've got some interviews lined up with some, people, prominent members of the Smite community, and this is how we basically help the league grow. And then, of course, once we've got a couple of episodes under our belt, we can look at putting it on a streaming site where people can access it, so they don't have to sit here on Twitch. They can access it when they're walking about, going to the gym or whatever. For new players, we've got the Don Doug Academy starting soon. So me and Don have got a conversation coming up soon for him to coach teams and players. Obviously, Don's played at a very high level of Smite throughout all his time playing the game, basically. And he has agreed to put on, I think it's a weekly sort of training session where he jumps on, spectates a team, or works one-on-one, or even just sits and has a chat. So any players who want a bit of coaching from a top-level player, that will be...
To be fair, I didn't really, at the highest level, I didn't really play, though. I used to coach SPL teams. That's what I did. 'Cause I couldn't
Even
compete with those
better.
guys. They were too reckless in playing. Like, I used to coach Deathwalker, Carl Laws, No Numbers, and Hazer. I actually picked up Hazer and Deathwalker back in the day. So it's like I have been coaching a lot. That's what I did for 2 seasons almost. For a pretty solid team. They did end up doing a second seed also at LAN. So and they later got turned over by Obey because surely my own organization could not compete with Obey. They would definitely take that roster. I had no chance of getting the guys to play for me then. But
Yeah.
I helped them out later on. Alpha Jackal took the role as head coach, and because he could travel to the States. I was currently moving to Luxembourg at that time. So I've been a part of some coaching. So I'll gladly help teams. Like what I'm looking to do is I can watch some VODs and I can do some stuff and I can help teams get into a groove of like a working morale, like what to work on and how to look at the game and these sort of things. They want that.
Awesome. So what better accolade than a former SPL coach to help you out? And the final thing I was going to mention is the recruitment drive that we're going to do for season 2. Obviously, we want to fill out the roster as much as we can. We currently have 30 teams, which is enough to be honest, but we always want a little bit more. So if there's any potential members in the chat right now who aren't already part of the team, so many teams are recruiting right now. Jump on board, come and find a team, jump into the looking for group section. Also, ahead of season 2, we will need more casters as well. So if anybody out there is thinking of doing what me and Judas do, growing your own Twitch channel, growing your own confidence speaking into a camera, or growing your own game knowledge, believe me, you'll learn a lot from watching, I'll tell you now. Then send me or Judas a message. We'll set you up with everything you need. We've got all the overlays, we've got all the introductions, we've got all the promo videos. We will help you get to where you need to be to do this. There's plenty of scrims going on that you can just spectate and have a go at doing it. But I think all we've got left in the podcast today, the inaugural 2-hour-long podcast, thank you everyone for sticking around, is just a couple of questions that were sent to me. Some of them were to do with the game state themselves, but what I'll do is I'll go with the more fun ones. So we can get quick answers out of people. So the first one here is, who is your favorite and worst god in the game to play? So for me, mine is Hercules. As boring as that is, I love a bit of Hercules. He's a nice, safe solo laner who doesn't get bullied too often. And my worst god in the game is anyone who's ever seen me play basically any mage that isn't Scylla. Yeah, I'm a horrendous mid laner. So Hercules is my favorite. And I think one of the worst games I ever had was when I tried Alpwatch in the mid lane. So for me, Hercules and then Alpwatch. Judas, over to you. Favorite and worst god?
I would definitely have to say, by quite a big margin, my actual favorite god is Naja. I think the sort of ridiculous sort of risk reward potential that he brings into a game, it's so much fun. I think my biggest moment, my highlight of my Naja career, you could say. I don't know if this was a glitch or what, but I used the sash, hit someone as their like jungler whatever came by to stand next to them and protect them. I got a double crit for 1000 damage on both of them and killed them both, and it was so awesome. It was so hype, and it happened like one of the first times I ever played him. So that really locked me in. In terms of worst god to play, I think my worst gods are generally the ones that are a bit more simple. I do love my Ra, I will say, but I think out of everyone, someone I just never like being involved in is actually Anher. I'm not a big fan of Anher. I think it's too much. When you can leap on someone, pin them to a wall, and ult them dead, I don't find that fun. Because one, playing against it's horrible, and two, if you mess it up, the other person's just gonna laugh at you for the rest of the game because you're a perfect sitting target for that. So, yeah, those would be my two.
Apo, over to you.
My favorite god's Merlin, which is a weird one to be fair. I don't know if anyone's favorite god's Merlin, but no, I really enjoy Merlin. I just like how mechanical he is, even though he's really simple actually to play when you understand him. He looks really mechanical, so he looks quite flashy, so I enjoy that. Least favorite god's Arachne. I hate that god. Like, she needs to get out of the game. Like, I actually hate Arachne. All Arachne players can go die. All I care, like, I hate Arachne, even playing her. Awful.
Nathan, before Apo gets us kicked off Twitch for an explicit rant, Nathan.
I can't. I can't say anyone other than Amuse and Cab for my favourite, just because the amount of game time I put into him. There's not many people that can say that they have more game time on one
Don's
god
shaking
than
his head
myself on that
Don
god.
doesn't like that.
I
pick.
think my history with him began in Clash because I could just out farm everyone and I just fragged. So then it carried on to Conquest, and here we are today. Anyways, least favorite god. I don't want to be obvious and say Loki. I'm probably gonna say Aphrodite.
Good answer.
Yeah, Aphrodite.
Answer. People who play Aphrodite in Arena paired to a Susano, you are ruining the game. Instant ban. Because anyone who play high MMR Arena it is just full of 50-star Aphrodites paired to 50-star Susanos who gets their entire kit off in the time that she's ulting, so they're completely invulnerable to damage. It is a pain in the arse to play against. Honestly, go and do something else. Go and play another game. Boring. So yeah, I probably should have gone with Aphrodite myself. Don, are you still there? And if
Yes.
so, what are you saying? Favorite god, least favorite god?
My favorite god is Anher. Because Anher is the definition of how a hunter should look like in any MOBA. Anher is the definition of a hunter. He's a pinnacle of a hunter. He has the kit exactly like a hunt. You would imagine a hunter. When you think about hunter in any MOBA, you think of a kit like Anher. You would think of the look like Anher. And I think my least favorite god though, actually my most favorite god to play is actually Merlin. I think he's really fun, but my favorite god is just Anher. I don't know why. It's just how it is. My least favorite god would be it's I don't know. It's probably Aphrodite, man.
Good
I
answer.
hate that god.
Aphrodite
Yeah, I
hate
that.
in this pod.
Big
man.
fans of Arena,
Love
man.
it.
Yeah,
Love it.
I
I
just
did
hate
actually
that.
see an interview with Mifflin about a year ago when they asked him which god has got the best kit in the game, and he said that Anher. He said Anher has got the most complete, rounded kit of any
Yeah,
god
man.
in Smite. Next question, we've got two more. I'll float this one to you, Don. Actually, while I'm finding the other question, was what Smite tie-in would you most like to see? So obviously we've got the Stranger Things tie-in coming. I think me and Nathan both said Star Wars. Apo said Marvel. I can't remember what you said, Judas. Actually,
I followed up with Max, who pulled out SpongeBob. I'd be a big fan of
SpongeBob.
that.
Yeah. So what tie-in would you most like to see for the second half of season 8?
You pushing that question to the wrong man because I don't give a shit. I just don't care. Sorry. I'm sorry to be like that, but I just couldn't care.
This man is
Yeah,
serious
don't
about
know.
his Smite.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I don't know. Like I would never buy a skin regardless. I would never play to get the skin regardless. It's just like I don't know. Like Hulk, give me Hulk cool and give me something like
Yes. I said Hulk Cullen as well.
cool.
What were the others? I had one more question lined up somewhere. Someone asked if you could have a tier 5 skin for any god, who would it be? But I'm guessing you're all going to give the same answer as your favorite gods that you've all just answered. So I think that's it. I think that is all of the questions. Some of them were X-rated, so I'm not going to read those out. Brushy MC, I'm looking at you. I can't read that question out on stream, I'm afraid. Skuld asked, what does everyone... Oh, actually, I do have one question, and this is how we'll finish the podcast as well. No description, just a one-word answer. Which god, in your opinion, is going to rise in the Season 8 mid-season patch, and which god is going to fall in the Season 8 patch? So, don't need a description, just a one-word answer, because then we're going to leave it for people to figure out why you're thinking that. So, I'll start. I think the god who's going to benefit most from the Season 8 patch is Ratatoskr. And I think the god who's really going to suffer and fall away is King Arthur. Nathan. Actually, Judas. Sorry, Judas. I've been going to you next.
Always going to me first. My top pick for Rise will be Freya. In terms of falling, I'm going to go with Neith, actually.
Apo?
Rising Amma, falling Giannis.
Giannis. Nathan?
I don't know how you guys thought of this one so quickly. It's one word, isn't it? Rise. Baba Yaga. That's 2 words. I've screwed it up. And full. Osiris.
He's thinking. I'm getting hate on my Neath pick in chat.
Come
See that?
back to me. Come back to me. Full.
Okay, Don, sorry, Rise and Fall.
Yes. Judas is correct. Neath rise, definitely. Neath gonna rise, that's for sure. I'll even show you guys.
Oh, I was saying Neath fall. I was complete opposite.
No.
Oh.
Neath comes up. Neath definitely comes up. And then fall, I'd say Tiamat.
Tiamat. Oh, interesting. Nathan, one last go. Who's going to fall? Who's going to drop out the season 8 mare?
Aphrodite.
Could she fall any lower already? But brilliant. Okay, so we're going to round it up there, guys, because we've been here for nearly 2 hours now. So first of all, I want to say thank you to you guys who came along. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you this
Thank you
evening.
for having us.
You're all so comfortable in front of camera. This is
Very
like you've done this
much.
before. Obviously, you're all more than welcome to come back on when we have the next podcast available. So thank you to everybody who watched as well. We've hovered around the 35 viewer mark for 2 hours basically. So that's 30 people who've given a lot of their time up. This will be downloaded and edited and stitched together because obviously it's in 2 parts and uploaded to our YouTube channel at some point, probably tomorrow, considering I'll have to sit through 2 hours and edit out the visual glitches and audio glitches. So thank you to everyone who watched. I do believe there is a game being cast this evening.
I'm about to play
It
and
actually
put on a
started
show.
technically
So,
16 minutes ago, so we'll be getting on that.
Yeah, so we'll be jumping on that Duracast. Thank you to everyone who watched. It's been an absolute pleasure.
We're waiting on 2 people anyway. It's fine.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, hopefully this is going to be a running thing, the podcast. We can talk about different things each week. It's not just going to be a patch note show, which obviously today turned out to be, but of course mid-season patch notes came out this week, and it's a big change for season 8. I want it to be more league focused when we move on in the season, so we can talk about previous fixtures, we can talk about whatever's going on, and of course I want to get some big names onto the podcast and host interviews and stuff as well. And of course, who knows, we might expand it. Of course, Don will help. I'm sure you would have volunteered, and I'm sure you've got some big names you can pull out. And of course, we can expand it out as well. If we, of course, start getting a lot of interest, we can maybe expand it into other topics. So thank you everybody for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure to host this evening. Thank you all as well for being part of the Smighty Knight League. If you're not already, then please, Judas, put a Discord link into your chat and get involved. You won't regret it. It's the only Smite community you will ever need. Those of you who want to stick around for this evening, we've got some action as Just Our team is playing in a couple of minutes. But I will leave the final message to Judas, my co-caster, who has very kindly put this together this evening after my laptop genuinely tried to open Smite earlier on, and it said not enough memory to even open the client. So thank you, Judas, for being able to host this evening. I'll leave the final word with you. Is there anything you'd like to sign off with?
Yeah, just like to sign off with, thank you everyone for stopping by, as was said. So was, of course, the first podcast that we've managed to put together. Hopefully we'll have many, many more coming by. Thank you very much to Nathan T, Just Apple, and Don Doug for stopping by. It's always nice to have some extra guests. Let us know, A, if you'd like to come on the podcast next time, and B, who was some player from the league that you'd want to see on the podcast? Who do you want to hear from? Let us know, and we'll try to sort that out for you. I will let you go with the nice little intro that Kara's made for this podcast, and I will see you very, very shortly for our get that sponsorship out of my channel. I'll see you very, very soon for Cobalt Esports versus Rome Squad happening in just a few minutes. So please don't go anywhere.